And I have studied it down through the ages. But I have always threatened to write a massive book about it and never wrote a line. I write out the title for the book, and I talk out chapters in the book, but I never write the book. It is so delicate and dangerous and so painful that a person like me, who opened many doors and talked about many things, even at the risk of being killed, hadn't even put it down. The book is called The Role of the Bastard as a Factor in History. How people have bastardized other people through their women and used the bastard to control them. Then, having used the bastard, refused to accept the bastard in the home of the father that created him and sent him back to his mother's people to start confusion.
Yes, like the book. Yes.
And when he faced Christophe, he said that if Christophe had been a stable boy and head waiter in the French inn, also fought in the American Revolution, but that's another story. But when he faced Christophe, he said, if the French had killed you, I wouldn't have you to contend with. And Christophe's answer was classic. If your mother had the common decency to keep Frenchmen out of her bed, I wouldn't have you to contend with.
Someone who is 3/4 massa and 1/4 coon. Obama is a mulatto, that's the one-drop rule, fades through the American conscience. And maybe my story is just a little too honest.
I'm black and proud, I'm black and proud, I'm just as white as that Mona Lisa, I'm just as black as my cousin Keisha, I'm biracial, so bye Felicia.
I don't...
Means I'm not white. Not white. Therefore, in most people's eyes, I'm just black. So people disregard half of my heritage, half of my background, half of my upbringing, half of my skin color, which I found to be quite a level of racism, actually. In that, why, if you're not 100% white, are you therefore by default black? So it does affect my worldview in that being mixed race, I have a lot of people in my family that are black and a lot of people in my family that are white, and on both sides have experienced racism, which is why I know that anyone can experience racism. But also, it affects me in that a lot of black people who are racist towards me are kind of upset on some level because I'm not 100% black and I'm not 100% white. People want so badly to categorize you, to put you in a box. And if you don't fit in that box, they don't know how to deal with you and they see you as a problem, something to handle. Being mixed race means I'm not white.
I have another job for you, Willie.
What's that?
We need money. So I have a bank job cased. The only thing about it is I can't have the job connected with the Cobras.
How are you gonna do that?
We use Red Beans, Benny Rooster, Paul Monte, JT, Johnny, and Tom. And you lead the team.
All the yellow niggas, right? Look, man, I am tired of that. I am not passing. I am black. Do you hear me, man? Do you understand? I am black. I'm a nigga. Do you understand me? I was born black. I live black. And I'm gonna die probably because I'm black. Because some cracker that knows I'm black better than you, nigga, is probably gonna put a bullet in the back of my head. Stick.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast What's going on, Blanca? Appreciate you in the building. What's going on, my brother Bakari? Oh yeah, go ahead and do your live, my brother. I was waiting. I was looking to see if anybody had one live, but nobody had one on. So I went on there. But no, my bad, my brother. Go ahead and do your thing, because I'm not gonna lie, y'all probably or people probably not going to like what I'm talking about anyway. You know, this is just like, I guess, one for me, you know. So I mean, yeah, y'all do y'all thing, you know. That's why I ain't even really say anything, but yeah, go ahead and do your thing, my brother. You know, this one isn't as productive as some of the other ones, you know. But I have turned myself up, and I just gotta get this off, you know, because even with conversations that I have, you know, I want people to understand, you know, when it comes, and I could have showed some negative stuff, but I'm not going to talk about that part of it today, you know, even though what I'm talking today, yeah, I understand, Blanca, but you might not like what I say today. Or you might, you know, you might appreciate it, you know, but you might not, because I talk about like this whole thing about mulatto people, you know what I'm saying, mixed people, biracial people, you know. And the only thing that I say is like, well, you need two black parents, you know. There's no way a black person can come from a white woman. I don't give a damn what your phenotype is. There's no way a black man comes from the seed of a white man. It just doesn't make sense, you know, because in biology, like real life, it tells us, well, you know, if you put two things together, it's something different. But when I say stuff like that, people take it the wrong way, you know, and they feel like I got some type of hatred, or I'm some elitist or something, like I'm trying to bring in some kind of hierarchy or something like that. No, like, and that's why I always try to be like, it's not about like the biracial person. It's about like the self-hatred within the black person, you know. And a lot of, I'm not going to, well, you know, I don't want to say every time, but you know, more times than not, because if you look around, we have a lot of clone activity, you know what I'm saying? And when I talk about this issue, I talk about it for political reasons, you know what I'm saying? Because one thing that I feel is that in the next 15, the next generation or so, it's going to be like the Asians. You're going to have to worry about the Blasians, especially if you are a black person that's trying to go to Africa. But like just the whole history of the thing, and it's never about them, right? I don't think that black people have no allies. I think we have zero allies. But if there's like something closest thing that I could say to an ally would be a mixed person, because you know they have that black thing in them, you know. And it's like the brother that was just on the movie, you know, like, oh yeah, because I'm black, man, I live black, you know. And even like some people, and if you want to come on here and say something, we can have the conversation. But I want people to understand it's not about some kind of elitism or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's the mentality. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, the political things I'm telling you about, like with my fear of the Blasians in the next 15 to 20 years, and they're being able to help them extract resources to other groups of people, you know. But also just certain things, even here, you know, because like certain things that say like, oh yeah, well, the first black person to do X, Y, and Z is usually a mixed race person, because they're quote unquote more palatable. You know what I'm saying? That's the term that I hear all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's this more palatable thing. You know what I'm saying? But so it's nothing personal against them. It's really to like the black people, you know. And I want people to understand that when I say this type of stuff, it's not like, oh yeah, I'm saying, oh, mixed race people or like terrible, or like, you know, they don't deserve. Look, you know, like I can't say anything about other groups of mixed people either. You know what I'm saying? It's not my business. You know, most of the time that I'm talking about is specifically the self-hate that we have, and then you know how quick we'll put on the cape for white bitches. You know what I'm saying? We'll let them into the cookouts, and like I said, I say that because we be so quick to disrespect our own. But if I say a white bitch, oh Lord, you better not say that. But you can call black women the B word all the time. You know what I'm saying? Or call each other the N word all the time. But when we talk about real life bitches, you know what I'm saying? Like what they were born and bred to do, you know, now is a problem. And then you get so many people mad because they're defending it, right? And then there's like all types of movements, which I wouldn't care about if it's the internet, but you go out and you see different stuff. I don't know. It's just the mentality that we have as black people is no wonder why we are in the situation that we are in, man. So I'm gonna start it, you know, with this one, man. Do black people love themselves or no? And unfortunately, I don't think a lot of us do love ourselves because we devalue, like, and that's another thing, is devaluing blackness. Like you have a black man is something. A black woman is its own thing. They're their own thing. You know what I'm saying? And you need both of them. Like you need a mother and a father. You understand? And we degrade it by saying, well, anybody can just whatever. But do we love ourselves, or you know, what do we want to do?
The last question I have on this one, guys,
Okay.
is if you could take a magic pill and become another race for a weekend, would you? And if you would, what race would you choose?
Ooh,
Why not?
I got one. I had a map. I'm going straight white man off the rip. What? You kidding me? I could be a white dude. I can walk around, be a white man, and talk to people third way, call the cops so much. Think about that shit. I can talk crazy, hey, call the cops.
So if I could be any race, what would I be? First thing he said, I know what I would be. I would be a black man, you know.
Ooh,
Why not?
I got one. I had a map. I'm going straight white man off the rip. What? You kidding me? I could be a white dude. I can walk around, be a white man, and talk to people third way, call the cops so much. Think about that shit. I can talk crazy, hey, call the cops on me. Hello. Like, what? You kidding me? Get me
And she's so tickled, like her laugh is like actually blowing me right now. But she is like so tickled about that.
man today. I want to be white man now.
Would you look at this?
If you could be any other race other than the one you is, what race would you be?
White,
White? Why white?
because I want the hair.
That's it? Yeah.
What? Because you want lice infested hair? Now I understand the part that people leave out when people have this conversation when they talk about black women hair is because they make our hair illegal, how it grows out of our scalp. Bro, they say that is unkept and is unprofessional. So you have to have quote unquote straight, but our hair grows like naturally. Our hair is like the only one that grows like where it's not lice infested. You know what I'm saying? And that's like we can't ignore like hundreds of years of being told like, well, you can't have your hair like that if you're going to be doing this job. Till this very day, you know, you still see people mad about the young brother at their school, you know, because they're trying to get him to cut his thing, and they always getting you to cut your hair and all of that. So I'm not gonna leave that whole issue out of it and where it comes from, but it's still the mentality because. You know.
If you could be any other race other than the one you is, what race would you be?
White,
White? Why white?
because I want the hair.
That's it? Yeah. What about a good credit, bro?
Ooh, credit too.
And a credit.
Good credit. Yeah, I think I'll be white. Yeah, or Mexican.
What happened to me
You said I'll be
for a
Mexican.
period of time is I became jealous of white women because I wondered.
And she's talking about, you know, what about the credit and stuff like that, you know. But see that mentality, and y'all can say like elitism or whatever, or you're trying to make whatever, but no, it is what it is. Like a lot of times, this is the birth of that. It's like I understand some people might have. I got mixed people in my family. You know what I'm saying? You know, my cousin. I'm not gonna lie, like the girl is like kind of trailer park girl, white girl, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. But like his children with her, all of the children he got with her, all of them are mixed race. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they think it's cool, but this is the mentality though, because like when I was doing one story about this brother, right? The grandfather, the father of the dude, I think he got killed or something, right? By the police. And I was talking about him. He was mixed, you know. And so the father was a black man, and he got with like a Mexican girl or something like that. And so his son, who was mixed black and Mexican, but he has like some of that anti-blackness stuff going on. But he ended up getting killed by the police or something like that, right? And then they had his daughter on the news, right? And she looked like a straight up Mexican girl, like didn't look like, oh, well, you black or nothing. You're Mexican, because his son got with a lighter skin, you know, the La Raza thing. And it's this whole La Raza mentality, you know what I'm saying? And that's really what I'm talking about. Like even with the whole basis from where it come from, is nothing against the mixed race people per se, you know what I'm saying? But if the truth is, if we had like self-love and when we say allies or friends or something like that, you got to be like, yo, what is my goals? First of all, what are my goals? What am I trying to accomplish? Right? Do I want like power, which is the ability to enforce some a crime committed against you? It's your ability to enforce that, but also your ability to get drinking water to the people, or, you know, whatever it may be, you know what I'm saying? Like all of that kind of stuff is the power, the part of power, controlling your own community, the food that comes in and out, you know what I'm saying? All of that, the power to control your own thing, or is our goal, because I hear too much, you know, and that's another conversation that we got to have. I was listening earlier with the older generation and the younger generation, you know, and I'll hit Bakari up with that conversation, you know, or whoever, the older generation and the younger generation. Oh yeah, Bakari, you ain't have to stop, my brother. You know, I'm just on here ranting, my brother. I'm sorry. Yo, what's going on, Rob? Appreciate you for coming in. Yeah, my brother. If I would have knew he was going on there, I would have waited. My bad. But you know, like we gotta deal with the like I said, it's not about like the biracial people per se, you know what I'm saying? It's how it's the whole mentality, and then us devaluing blackness in itself, right? But then once you get to like the grandkids, like listen to this dude here, you know, all the athletes got white girls, and now they telling their kids, well, hold on now, if you turn around and get white girls, then we ain't gonna be black no more. You know what I'm saying? He's like, uh-oh, this particular dude here.
Y'all half black and half white. Mm-hmm. So you better try to marry a black girl, because you want some athletes.
They told me it was a video, but they just tagged me in it. I hadn't seen it. Like these black athletes are telling their sons not to marry white women. After they married white women, their mothers are white, and they're telling their sons not to marry white women. I don't know if it's buyer's remorse, but they was like, he said, it's like cocaine, you can't keep cutting it. And the boy was like, cutting what? And he was like, the blackness. But sir, you OT Genesis cut it right in half. I guess, I don't know. I guess they don't be thinking about that when they get married. Like, oh, well, I might want my sons to be athletes too. This is crazy. I just don't understand the logic of men. Like, you didn't care nothing about blackness until you realize, oh, they not gonna be able to play football.
Y'all half black and half white. Mm-hmm.
Now, I know they try to make it a man thing too, you know what I'm saying? That's not like, let's be real. Like right now, you know what I'm saying? It's not just men. So like with this whole white moms thing, is because they're trying to act like, oh, white dads are somehow better. It's still all the same thing, you know? So let's not act like that. But, you know, you see like, but they're like, yo, hell, they're not black, you know, when people be like, oh, well, you're a sellout. No, like their mom is white, you know what I'm saying? So they're going after somebody like their mom, you know what I mean? And he telling them, oh, well, you finna watch the blackout. Like, wait, bro, like you are the one who is washing it out. You know what I'm saying? And it's the mentality of like, yo, do we want to be like, you know, is it like, of course, you know, and most people won't admit that. They be like, love is love and all of this other nonsense, you know what I'm saying? But, yo, it takes time to get to the love in the first place, you know what I'm saying? Yo, you pick and choose who you put effort and time and energy in. And then we're not going to sit here and act like, yo, it's just so many people that try to be like, oh, yeah, that's what I was talking about, your goals. What is your goals? Is it trying to assimilate and be a part of the structure and contribute to it and be accepted as be equals? Because, you know, good luck with that, you know what I'm saying? But that's not my particular goal. And the thing is, and we know that, you know what I'm saying? So like, and I'll even go back to like you becoming clones, because in a couple generations, in 3 years, like the father is black, the child is mixed, and then whatever the mixed child mess with, you know what I'm saying, they come out whatever, you know, like Mexican, black, whatever, just like the person, you know. But you see, now they like, oh yeah, well now we whatever. But, and you know, this is another reason, and this ain't really but this is another reason why this, because like I said, like when we talk about, yo, the first black person to do something, or the first, or black people, or when they say black people or slave owners or black people, or this is usually not a black person. It's usually a mixed person. You know what I'm saying? And they use that as a form of weapon. See, like we don't look at it as like, until we could get the courage or the knowledge or the something to realize like everything is like war right now. It's competition for whatever. And they will, hell, they enslave their own children, right? They will kill whatever, do whatever, use their own children to maintain power, right? And while we laying down like love is love, you know what I'm saying? It's a post-racial society type thing, you know what I'm saying?
But obviously, a lot of shelter dogs are mutts like me.
What had he described himself as? Mutt is another.
By the way, Bukhari, this is I don't know if you're still there, but this is from that dude Mulatto Vanguard.
Term for mongrel, one of the worst things you could call someone whose parents are from different races. In his first press conference as president-elect, was it self-deprecation or trying to take ownership of an abusive term?
Obama is a role model to many. He also opens up the discussion around mixed-race people in the UK, how we describe them and how they see themselves.
See, and then when we say, oh, well, we had a black president, like, did we? Like, did we have a black president? The first black president? Like, no, we didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell, they say J. Edgar Hoover was freaking black, but that's mental illness. Like, that, like, it could be funny and stuff like that, but it's really mental illness. It's not trying to address the real root of the whole problem, which is like, and like I said, like even with the hair thing, like, you know, like we started doing the thing with the hair because for like hundreds of years it's illegal to grow the hair out of our head. You know what I'm saying? So that type of stuff, it develops a self-hatred. And that's the part that people will leave out when they have this conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, and why I say, even with the black people who do this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying, who have this type of self-hatred, because like when all you seeing is self-hatred stuff, like either are like start developing that, or you try to get something where you try to be accepted, or you are extra stand up about it, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, I'm black and I'm proud about it, you know what I'm saying, or you like, you know, try to soften it or whatever.
I went back to where I grew up and asked the people of Wood Green in North London how they describe him.
What race would you say this man is?
I think it's half-half. It's Asian.
Asian?
Yeah.
Ethnic other.
What race would you describe?
He's mixed race, just like myself.
Growing up, I was described by others in many different ways. I describe myself as mixed race. My dad is from England. My mother was born in Jamaica.
Certainly, there were nowhere near the numbers of children from mixed race relationships around when we got together in the early 70s. The whole self-esteem thing is the crucial thing for me, and that kind of like having a positive identity.
Of course, I was a product of the 70s. Young Ruby is a product of the new millennium.
I see Ruby as Ruby, so no colour, you know, no like real sort of race, even though I know in my mind she is mixed race.
I would just like her to be aware of her history.
Role models of mixed race have been around for years, but rarely have they been described in those terms. The lack of public discussion may reflect no real need to, but maybe a new generation are now ready to begin that discussion, as this man heralds the beginning of a new era.
Right. So, which was not true, because now, how Kamala Harris is black too. If you're gonna say all of these people are black, you know what I'm saying? Kamala Harris is black. Then how about that? You know, East Indians are black, all of them. You know what I'm saying? But and that's not really true, is it? You know what I'm saying? It's a mixture of what it is, you know. And this dude here, you know, even though he got like nothing but anti-blackness, you know, he wouldn't dare say anything to like his white side or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? They should be proud to have their own lane or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I have fun trolling them because, you know, he has the anti-blackness with him. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So let me play this one. Yeah, they make you sicker when you try to assimilate, but and we don't even understand where that sickness really comes from, you know.
People to talk about, when is it okay for biracial people to talk about their identity struggles? Listen. I know it can be kind of funny. I know the poetry is hilarious. I know it's like
asking.
So yeah, we can't say because they get a little upset when you say that type of stuff, you know.
For biracial people to talk about.
Go watch that video, but if you don't feel like it, they're basically asking when it's okay for biracial people to talk about their identity struggles. And I wanted to help answer this with a clip from Jesse Williams that I think will be very enlightening.
I just get a little disinterested in like the tragic mulatto story. Because like that's not the part. That's not.
Now, and my thing is like, yo, that's a real thing. There, it is like, because they often be like, yo, it hurts me that I'm not accepted by black people, or just saying, well, if you were mixed, you're not black. That didn't even mean you're accept. Black people accept every damn body. You could hang a black person and say, I'm sorry, and you could come to the cookout. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is smile and say, oh, well, racism is this, y'all, and you welcome to the cookout. So you accept it already, you know. But sometimes that resentment build up, but that doesn't build up in other communities because they just accept, all right, we're not accepted by it. If they say we're not white, we're not white. But you gonna tell me I'm not black, Negro, you know what I'm saying? Like that stuff, you know, does build up. And then they get angry, and then they, like the mulatto Vanguard, you know, like he doesn't realize like we are his parents though, you know what I'm saying? Like if we have, and it's no disrespect to them, but if we had knowledge of ourselves, then their numbers would naturally kind of decrease from us anyway. I don't give a damn if it's like white, Asian, they trying to save their thing by trying to make white and Asian mulattoes. That's not my issue, you know, but.
That's the hard part. And maybe I'm an but like it just doesn't. That doesn't. Tragic mulatto. Well, that's a real. There's 5 categories. Paul Bogle wrote a book called Toms, Coons, Mulattoes, Mammies, and Bucks. There's like the 5 or 6, whatever number that was, the names I just said, of roles that black people.
Now, think about him being in that list: Toms, Coons, Mammies, Mulattoes, and Bucks. Right, see, we often don't put, and I'm not even gonna, but what he is saying, what that book, I guess, was trying to say is how these particular things, like they have used the quote unquote coon, right? The one who wants to get rid of his blackness, who wants to be white, you know what I'm saying? Who wants to be American, right? To distance himself. And then they try, well, there ain't no such thing as, all we got to do is work hard and prove ourselves. And we can make it in the society. There's nothing stopping it. Ain't nobody saying nothing to stop. But what we are talking about, what is your goal? Is it to like, you know what I'm saying, go to a job every day and make okay money, or is it to have freaking power? You know what I'm saying, control your own destiny. And when I say power, it's the ability to like dispose of your own feces type stuff. You know what I'm saying, like feed yourself, clothe yourself, and then when somebody committed crime against you, punish their ass. And I don't care if it's a coon that go out or whatever and does whatever, but now it's time for that person to get punished, because now if that white girl get bold and then want to pull somebody over in traffic and shoot them like the white girl did, that brother Kenneth, something, you know, then like now she's out here. Like, what if that same person encountered your children when you're not there? Like, you gonna wait till then to want to do something to them? Now it's a crime. Like, the person got what they got, they ain't listen, but it's still a crime you committed. It's punishment. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Buck. And these are tropes that we've adapted. And yes, if you're the, you know, I'm not a girl, but I've heard a lot, like, if you're a light-skinned girl, like, maybe the black girls don't you, they think that you think you're better than, okay, but the world also thinks you're better than and treats you better. So, like, what's the math we're doing right now? Like, it's not a net loss, but you need to overcome. You need to figure out a way to be sensitive to that. I know that, like, I've got treated a certain way and get attention from girls because of the way I look, which I did not choose. I did not win a lottery shooting craps in the womb. And
See, and all of that stuff is like self-hate. I get it, you know. It's like they used to call it color struck, you know. That's my mom's generation. Oh, by the way, Bakari, that's one topic I want to have is the generation count. Maybe the next time with Cassandra or whatever, you should come on that, John, because I was listening to like I get in you in Gen X, not baby boomers. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, y'all are not like us millennials. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna pick the ball up that y'all dropped. You know, while y'all was out here dating white girls and making all these mulatto NBA players. Now we got to pick the ball up. I'm joking, bro. I'm just joking.
Like, let me get them eyes, let me get these freckles, let me get this color skin. Like, I didn't earn that. That's got nothing to do with me. But I know that I'm going to have a better deal so I can be more sensitive to that fact. I'm not going to whine about how dark-skinned people treat me worse. Like, that's just a weird way to expend my energy. And who's that for? Right. Like, I'm more interested in black liberation than, like, light-skinned storytelling. I love it. That's my experience. Other people have had completely different experiences. Yeah. I feel I'm aware that it's going to come off kind of crass and insensitive, but I just want to. I don't like to dive down. That's not a portal. I've got 5 other focuses. Yeah. And, like, light skin struggling ain't it.
And by the way, how I look at my cousins is like it's almost like the Catch Me Outside girls the way they act. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I see it. Like it's like a Catch Me Out. It's like an imitation of black women or something, like a caricature of black women, you know what I'm saying? Like, and those is my cousins, you know what I'm saying? Like, but anyway,
that ain't it. The tragic mulatto, and not.
I think you get the point, and you know how I feel about positioning.
A Gen X is your generation, because it's like the people that's it's like 65 to like 1980 or something, and the baby boomers is like, you know, the one before y'all, like my mom's generation. I don't know what the generation before that is, and apparently, and then it's millennials, and then it's like, what is it, Gen Z after us, like 95. I don't know. I know we got the best of both worlds. Where we was outside and we got so we still outside, but we still got internet too. Like, and Gen X and baby boomers kind of go, y'all like, oh, what is this damn internet stuff? We still got the flip phones and stuff like that. That's y'all generation. Y'all up there with the baby boomers with the flip phones, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So we can be outside, but we still got the, you know what I'm saying? We still got our you know what I'm saying, computers, but we still know how to work them, but we still outside. While the younger generation, they only is on the computer. You know what I'm saying? That's what sets our generation apart. You know what I'm saying? And we'll say black people probably. But anyway.
The tragic mulatto, and not.
I think you get the point, and you know how I feel about positioning celebrities as intellectual leaders, but I think the context of Jesse Williams being an English teacher, an American Studies teacher, and an African American Studies teacher before becoming an actor gives perfect context for what he's saying and what authority he's standing on. My issue with the whole quadroon thing is we're constantly revisiting this trope of Black people being exclusionary to the struggles of biracials within our community. But nothing productive ever comes of that. Instead of leveraging the position that white society has dictated for you to further Black struggles, you're sitting here talking about how we make you feel excluded. And like Jesse Williams.
By the way, Bakari, that's exactly what a Gen Xer said. I don't know what a damn Gen Xer or baby boomer. That's how you know you a Gen Xer. That's what they would say. I'm sorry, I'm back.
Sitting here talking about how we make you feel excluded. And like Jesse Williams was saying, who does that really serve? Because it doesn't serve us. So to answer your question, yes, biracial people can talk about their identity struggles, but to what end is what we need to be asking.
Is it okay for biracial people to talk about?
I apologize once again for putting as Black. They're gonna see me as full. Does not affect our life the way that it affects if you are fully Black. I grew up with a white mom, no Black family. She constantly reminded me that when I go out into the real world, people are going to look.
No, it's basically what time period you was growing up, like what was happening with y'all, like pretty much, you know what I'm saying, like your age, the people that's in your age group it was different because like y'all kind of grew up in the 80s, you know what I'm saying, like y'all went through all of that stuff, and some of them in the 70s, but like y'all was like becoming adults by the 80s, you know what I'm saying, like. And while we was becoming adults by like the 2000s, really, you know what I'm saying? Like that's and it's different. Like, by the way, we was like, you know, like when people say the civil rights generation, they're really talking about the generation before you, Bakari, you know. And then the Gen Xers is really the ones like the baby boomers, and then the Gen X, like they was the first ones to go to like segregated or desegregated schools where they went to like quote unquote white schools. It's still like that, but it's the first generation that really had like all white teachers, you know what I'm saying, like. And that's why they have the whole thing about the civil rights generation, you know what I'm saying, that what they're talking about is that's the label of that generation, you know what I'm saying. So that's what I mean, like just conversations when they be like, yo, they dropped the ball and all this stuff, but it's just so many coon people having the conversation. I'm sorry.
Me as a Black woman, a fully Black woman. They're not going to see me as half white. They're not even going to know I'm half white. They're going to see me as fully Black, right? So I go out into this real world and realize the fuck they don't. No, they don't. But I carry.
You say it means nothing, Bakari, but when we had all these conversations about like when your generation dropped the ball, like that's like the whole conversation. I mean, you know what I'm saying, like, or when you be like, oh, these young fools don't listen anymore. That's the conversation that you're having. You know what I'm saying, like, so.
That Black woman badge of honor with me for like until I was 25 because I just didn't understand. I was like, no, I'm facing struggles because I'm a Black woman. I was facing struggles because I was a woman of color, but not because people saw me as Black. And that's not necessarily a flex. And I know a lot of biracial women say, oh my God, well, darker skinned people treat me different. I wonder why, especially if you have a white mom. We are insufferable when we have white mothers, okay? Because for the longest time, my mom is blonde hair, blue eyes. I looked at how she got treated in the world and said, well, that's my mother. I'm going to be treated that way. So what did I take on? The persona of a Karen for 25 years. Because Delulu or whatever. And I'm telling you, I fought long and hard to be seen as a Black woman when it just isn't that way for me. And it's like I wanted life to be harder for some reason. Like I was taking on my mother's white woman struggle Olympics game. Now I've posted a video like this before and people have said, well, you look Black to me. Well, duh, because I have half Black in me. But there had to be a time to come to the understanding that I don't get treated as a Black woman. More so, even from Black people, I always get the question, what are you? What are you? What are you? And that used to bother me, but I get it. I mean, I don't get it because I'm me and I know what my dad looks like. I know what my mom looks like. And to me, them mixed together makes this face.
Yeah, what up, Anthony? And, you know, anyway, you know, back to this conversation, it's like she said, you know, now she got a white woman telling her, you know, oh, you're a Black woman, you know, so she's even saying, you know, and it's not to blame her, you know, this is what she's being told as a child. And even that's what I'm saying about even with these generational things, you know, because the whole point is to make like, so there isn't arguing. Like one dude said, oh, it's a war between the older and the younger black. I wouldn't call it a war, but you know what I'm saying? Is disagreements, you know, and some of it is like how the older generation like raised their children. I'm not saying every parent from that generation, but and like they called us spoiled and all of that stuff, but like when they say if you criticize the older generation for like some mistakes that we may not agree with, and it goes just like with every generation, it's just them giving the names to the generation, you know. And then this whole mentality of like the whole one drop rule and you're going to be treated how whatever, like sometimes like that might be an old mentality, you know what I'm saying? Especially an old mentality of from wanting to be accepted into what you are, you know what I'm saying? From whatever, you know. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Bakari. I'm just using the name because that's what people know the generations by, you know what I'm saying? I could say the civil rights generation and all of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But Bakari, I don't know what you said. He was like white people, but you always on here saying, well, I ain't talking to them, they out of control. Like, bro, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of the older brothers are scared of the damn younger brothers, and that's not like not saying that whatever, but a lot of older brothers are scared instead of giving them the game, and that's a part of the problem. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when they need when they need male figures to be there for them when they 12 years old, they're not there, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then we wonder how these generational curses keep coming up, and we keep trying to find ways to get out of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, right, you definitely, and I'll say this: I can't vouch for nobody born after 1996. You know what I'm saying? Like they are, you know what I'm saying? I can't even vouch for them, but I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's definitely a generations because it's certainly a difference when that's the first generation being taught, and that's we understand. Hindsight is 2020, so we now know that that was a horrible move. Where we have all of these white women teaching them, white bitches, I'm sorry, teaching young black children all of these things, and now we wonder why we got all of these myths and mentalities that come from, you know what I'm saying, why we so split up, right? And, you know, and like if while we talking about like, you know, being scared of the younger generation, like, you know, like, and they're not even wilding out like it was in the 80s. That's the crazy thing. Like y'all was wilding in the 80s and 90s, like they're not even half as close. Well, anyway, this is a mixed girl. Now, she necessarily doesn't always like try to talk negative about black people, but one group in particular she will go and say negative stuff about is black women in particular. And she's talking about that dude, Jesse Williams, and the stuff he said. And one thing he said is
kind of our filtration system of things that impacted you. Ready, let's go. Of things that impacted you. So you try to make sure to expand on the good and try to reduce things that were scary or negatively influenced.
Bakari, when they be like, oh, I can't go out there and talk to them because they wild and crazy, that's not no toleration. You ain't telling them get the hell off the corner. That's no tolerating it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, go, if that's what you're going to do, go do that stuff over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not tolerate. When you be like, oh, I ain't going to go talk to them because they might do something to me. That's not no tolerance mindset. But that's why I said we should have that conversation, Bakari. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like with Cassandra there, you know.
You and protect your kids without rendering them unprepared for the realities of their life.
Now I want you to hear.
Doing well today.
All right, we don't need
position to push for racial equality. He was quoted as saying, "I have access to."
So like, and this is the thing here, because when we don't talk about the split spirits, the two spirits in one body, All right, when we don't talk about this,
He
is
was
the
able
thing.
to engage in activism. Jesse is an outspoken advocate of the Black Lives Matter movement. He has participated in so many projects championing for Black rights. He told The Guardian that being biracial, he is in the perfect
And she
position to
keep playing
push
all
for
this music
racial
on her
equality. He was
stuff,
quoted as saying, "I have access to rooms and information. I am white and I am also Black. I am invisible man in a lot of these scenarios. I know how white people talk about Black people, and I know how Black people talk about white folks. I know that I am there and everyone speaks honestly around me." And this is very true for most biracial people.
Just because I listen to the Beatles and Bob Dylan doesn't make me less Black. Who do you think they're copying?
No, not listening to the Beatles and Bob Dylan. Your mom or your dad or whatever it is makes you less Black. That's the thing that makes you less Black, bro. Not what you listen to, right? And the thing is, because some Black people try to listen to all of this other stuff so they can and try to fit in, but they'll always be Black no matter how much they hate that. You know what I'm saying? That's maybe why they try to put their seed or have somebody else put their seed in them so they can live vicariously through their children and wipe off some of that Blackness. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the thing, what you listen to. It's, you know what I'm saying? Because a Black person can listen to that and they'll be Black, right? You can listen to rap all day. You know what I'm saying? J. Cole is still mulatto. You know, he's a good rapper. I like J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the few that I would listen to, but he's still mixed. What do you want me to do?
And Bob Dylan doesn't make me less Black. Who do you think they're copying when they made that music?
So this whole thing.
No, I don't know if it only affects Black people. I'm just talking about how we cannot have it affect Black people, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just a conversation about it, you know what I'm saying? Because I was listening to some conversations about the generational thing, but like it was a bunch of clones having a conversation, sitting there talking about, oh, we want to be part of this, and the older generation agreeing with their handpots, you know what I'm saying? But I think that because when I say like, yo, the ball, things went wrong in this particular area, a lot of times, like the older the baby boomers, especially, be like, "Oh, I don't mean you think I'm a bad person. I'm nobody saying you're a bad person. We just saying what happened. We understand that, but you can't even criticize because they'd be like, "Oh, well, we're the parent. We're in charge. You can't tell them nothing." And Gen X is a little bit too. Like, let's be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all kind of closer to them. It's just like, you know, the ones behind us is closer to us. You know what I'm saying? And some of y'all, like, you know, the especially the civil rights generation ones that be like vote blue no matter who kind of people, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Trump going to take away. Some of them need to go ahead and retire, you know what I'm saying? And not all of them have been bad, but there is definitely a generational divide. And for us to not do that to the next ones that's coming up, you know what I'm saying? I think that at least we can have a conversation about it because this is an important topic, I think.
Thing starts off with him already trying to defend his Blackness just for listening to some sort of a perceived notion of what white music is.
Who do you feel like it's okay and more interesting to be have as many tools in your toolbox as possible? I just get a little disinterested in like the tragic mulatto story.
So as you can see, oh my God, that is so hilarious. The tragic mulatto story is
now she'd be feeling some type of way when she would probably feel some type of way about what I'm saying now. Well, she might agree. I don't know. But you know.
So hilarious. For whatever reason, a lot of monoracial people think this is funny. It's usually the first go-to in some sort of an attack. And of course, if anybody
Bakari, you keep saying that, but I don't believe you because how could you be talking to people and not see that, Bakari? What are you talking about? Like Black people don't even have, like, we're so stuck on like working every day. People not even talking about the stuff that they was talking about before. Like, Bakari, like, are you talking to people when you say like you believe in the stuff? You can come on here and complain about the young people doing the stuff like, I can't talk to them because I gotta go to the other brothers. You complain about them on here, Bakari. Then you say I believe the stereotypes. That's what I'm saying. Like, are you like, if you go out there and talk to people, like, you can see they not out there wilding like y'all say they is. Do y'all really go in the damn hood? Like, yo, I've been in Richmond and all of these other places in the 90s when it was crazy for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, these is brothers over there trying to help the young people like plant gardens and stuff. Like when y'all like, oh, I ain't going, like that made me wonder if y'all actually going out there, because I'm like, why y'all keep saying like these people is wilding out? Like no, they're not. They have more access to information. They have more, a whole lot of stuff. Like they just ain't got the right mentality because people ain't giving them the game. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. Like when you keep saying that, I'm like, are y'all going out there to like talk? Because like that's not what they're saying, bro. Like I don't know where y'all getting it. Like, oh, they so wild and all of this stuff. Like the ones you got to be talking about, like 17, 18-year-old kids, bro. Like, and they're not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they're not like y'all was in the freaking 90s. I tell you that. You know what I'm saying?
Call them any derogatory racist names that stem from slavery, that would be a major issue, right? And the only reason why I sound irritated by it is because I had this chick on TikTok call me one the other day. And the crazy,
because hell, you kind of on here talking about it yourself. Like I wouldn't let my daughter go to a party because the young people is out here wilding on a whole nother. You talk about this yourself, Bakari. Like, and now you're saying it's not true, and so I don't know what is true then.
part is that she looked biracial. She claimed that she was black, but she was clearly a MGM, multi-generationally mixed. That light skin on light skin crime is crazy too. I'm actually gonna make a video on her opinion of these spaces next, so make sure that you look out for that.
Yeah. Because like that's not the hard part.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a whole nother topic, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see how you could be talking to like young people, and that's why I think it is a damn generational divide. Because the older brothers don't want to admit that they dropped the ball somewhere along the lines, and they be like, you know what I'm saying, like, and they think that the young people is just out there. Like, I'm not saying that it ain't like everybody is peaceful and ain't like no, like, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, like every generation has like bad people, but like, y'all be going off of like the couple of like whatever, like even if you go to these high schools, it ain't like, anyway, bro.
For that.
Yeah. Because like that's not the hard part. Yeah. And maybe I'm an asshole, but like it just doesn't. Title, Sway. That doesn't. Tragic mulatto. Well, that's a real.
So you can see here that he actually wasn't saying it as a joke. He was actually talking about the real deal.
There's 5 categories. Paul Bogle wrote a book called Toms, Coons, Mulattoes, Mammies, and Bucks. There's like the 5 or 6, whatever number that was, the names I just said, of roles that Black people have played throughout the history of cinema. Mm-hmm. Right? You're either a Tom, a Coon, a Mammy, a Mulatto, or a Buck. And these are tropes that we've adapted.
And my thing is, right, because I try to join even several groups, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they be like, yo, we proud to be Black and all of this stuff, but they not really talking about, like, they're just trying to be like accepted, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've joined these groups. Like, it's different from just like having conversations to actually trying to go find people who's doing something in the community or whatever and reach out to them. Like, hell, even like Blue trying to do something, like, or reach out to the mayor or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But but that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, when you start like trying to be like, oh yeah, I'm trying to get brothers to go to these, like, so I joined a freaking group, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of the young brothers, even as much as they talk about revolution and all of that stuff, it's just, and it's not about freedom, bro. It's about equality. That's what people is trying to get these days. Because we dropped the ball, we forgot who the freaking enemy was. You know what I'm saying? Like, we think that we American. You got the older people talking about some vote. You know, like, I'm talking about the people like, you know, the 60s plus, like certain people like my mom is some that's starting to be like, yo, forget that too and listen. You know what I'm saying? But like, and that's why I was saying like a whole conversation, because it's not just one way. The younger people got to listen to what they're saying. But if you're scared to even approach them and come to them as on a condescending level, like, y'all wasn't out there doing worse than what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. If you even look at the damn statistic, you can look at the statistics and see that the crime has decreased every freaking year. This ain't the crime. This ain't 1994. This ain't the crime crack epidemic no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are outside on the corners. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there some?
And yes, if you're the, you know, I'm not girl, but I've heard a lot, like, if you're a light-skinned girl, like.
But that's what I've been trying to tell you, Bakari, when you always talk about blaming the damn younger generation. When I say, how could you blame the younger generation? That's exactly what I'm saying. You was coming from a damn Willie Lynch syndrome mindset when you keep saying, oh, I can't do nothing with these damn young people. They mad because I'm old. Because one dude who was a damn clone said you was old and stopped and you shouldn't talk no more, Bakari. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you was coming from a Willie Lynch mindset when you was on that stuff, when you was trying to blame the younger generation. That's why I kept saying we can't blame the younger generation. We shouldn't be blaming nobody. We understand where they come from. But that's a Gen X thing. Every time you say something that criticizes them, it start becoming something else. Or they be like, you know, if I was to say something, well, like, Mom, you did this. Or I was a bad mother. I did this. I thought it was just me, you know what I'm saying? But apparently, you might not think that generations of that the environment affects what's going on, because environments is important. Just like the people before you had a crazier environment, and a lot of people was raised to, you know, don't keep your eyes to the ground now, like, don't cause no trouble. We just want you to come home. And it's not out of whatever, it's about a fear, because you love your children and you want them the best for them. You want them to come home, you want them to be safe. So even in that generation, they was talking about that, like, and you can just learn that by, well, you know, listening to my grandmother talk or reading older people in the books they was writing, you know.
Like, maybe the black girls don't fuck with you, or they think that you think you're better than. Right. Okay, but the world also thinks you're better than and treats you better.
I'm not sure why two things can't be true at once. Is it possible that both sides may have been mistreated in different situations? It's kind of like, you know, when you're a kid and they would tell you, well, worse things are going on. People are starving in Africa. And it's like, yeah, damn, that does suck situation, right? People are telling him the
all right, let me get to this one
not
part.
just like fall out of the sky. It was
So
passed down through,
I was trying to let her give her honest mixed race perspective, but I wanted to play this part because he was saying why he did it.
And know that, like, I've got treated a certain way and get attention from girls because of the way I look, which I did not choose. I did not win a lottery shooting craps in the womb and like, let me get them eyes, let me get these freckles, let me get this color skin. Like, I didn't earn that. That's got nothing to do with me. But I know that I'm gonna have a better deal, so I can experience. Other people have had completely different interested in black liberation and like. Incredible, like, layered family that allowed me to be everything but helped me
to more than hurt because there are other issues like acceptance and not having a community.
Tragic mulatto, and no, that's honesty, man. That's all we ask.
And it's a lot of privilege because I had fucking incredible parents.
All right, everybody in here, what you knows with a Gen X is, Bakari, and you talk about, and when I say your generation dropped the ball, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't say Gen X, Bakari, because, you know what I'm saying, I'm just labeling that so most people who know, because you're not the only person, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. I've been telling you that the younger people is probably more militant than any of us. You know what I'm saying? I've been telling you that, but you were saying, oh, well, because you was on here looking at some damn FBA stuff, and I was like, you know what I'm saying? If you talk to the people, you wouldn't be saying that and talking about how violent and crazy they are. You know what I'm saying? Like. But you got mad at me and like tried to, but anyway, you had got mad at me for saying that stuff back then to you, Bakari. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, Bakari. So I shouldn't hear you say nothing else about generational anything, you know what I'm saying? And by the way, there is a set, like, well, we pass down trauma from generation to generation, but that doesn't exist either, I'm sure. There's we have no trauma. That doesn't happen. None of that stuff.
Incredible, like, layered family that allowed me to be everything but held me to a standard. Like, if I'm not working for the black people, my dad is not having it or impressed.
I don't know what the part is, but he was basically saying, look, it's my biracialness that makes me more palatable and acceptable to white, so we can get this equality through me. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what he was saying in this part. Now, this other part, now I want to play this one, right? Because this is the mentality.
Have I told you the first time?
Of when people, even when people always like defending mulattoes or even distracting from the thing, or when they come on here, you know what I'm saying, talking about some supremacy stuff, you know what I'm saying? But This chick here, you know what I'm saying, she even had a white boyfriend, but I wanted to play what that ESPN chick Sage Still said to her.
Have I told you the first time I met Sage?
No, tell me.
First time I met Sage was at a
Yeah, Bakari doesn't know what a generation is and how generations change. Like that's why he doesn't understand when I tell him like what he was doing back in 1970 is not the same thing that's going to work in this day and age. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of the issue there. You know what I'm saying? Which why we need to have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people from that generation refuse to hear anything and won't let somebody tell them anything, and they will argue just to be right. And I'm not talking about Bakari, because like I'm talking about people in my family. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell them anything, right? Because they're like, yo, I'm the parent, I'm the this, I'm the that. It don't matter, whatever. You can't tell them anything, you know. And they like, that's why you try to be like, yo, you have to update the things that you're saying, the things that you're doing, because times change, situations change, right? Things aren't the way that they were back then. We weren't having the same conversation. Well, we were, you know what I'm saying, but we understood. People wasn't saying slavery didn't happen in the 1990s, Bulgaria. People wasn't saying we wasn't from Africa. You know, want to know where all that comes from, right? Especially when the generations start getting separated from each other, and you have the older generations not teaching the younger generations who their damn enemy was, right? And then you have certain generations getting taught, right, by the enemy, so they don't even know who the damn enemy is, and they think the whole way is equality. And how do you get that? Well, maybe they don't. You and deep down, you know they ain't gonna accept you because you're black. So maybe I can sleep my way into it. You know what I'm saying? So, and then we develop a whole another anti-black thing, because even when I say the children, because like we see like there's a history of problematic, as they would say, behavior.
SB's party, and she comes.
She asked you if she could touch your hair.
No, sadly, that did not. That was her experience, not mine. Would you like to reference that, y'all? That's a whole nother story.
Look it up, guys.
Anyway.
Yeah, but y'all wasn't practicing fear of black folks in the 70s, was you? Was you practicing how to develop fear of black folks in the 70s? Well, so obviously it wasn't working, was it? No, we're not practicing that now, and it's not working now, is it? Right? We was practicing demonstrations, marches, you know what I'm saying? Like getting bit by dogs, and some people in the by the 60s was practicing we will shoot back, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying about like the end, because we don't understand, like, because they were saying black people would shoot back. So what did they do? Like you would divide the people up by, you know, gender. You can't act like this stuff doesn't happen, you know what I'm saying? And Bakari knows all of this because he talks about all of it. I know he probably just saying this just to you know, but still.
She comes running over to me and she grabs me and she's like, oh my God, I love you. And I love you because you said, you know what? I don't care what you have to say. I'm going to choose a
Bakari, you know damn well if like it might have happened every now and then, but if somebody's still doing drive-bys by 54, it's likely they're not going to like be either out on the streets or alive by 54. That's the problem we've been having in our communities, is the death toll, right? And the people that's being locked the hell up, right? And I say that that's our warrior class, but you always be like, no, well, you should be focused, which I agree on that, you know what I'm saying? But those damn sure is our warrior class. You teach them to point the guns in the right direction. Stop being scared of them and teach them to point the guns in the right damn direction, you know what I'm saying? Go up and talk to their ass and stop being like, oh, I don't know what they're gonna do to me. And I know Bakari would, because Bakari would go up to talk to people. So I ain't talking about him per se. But Bakari, you say the people from my generation, when I went to stand up, they wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? You know, and we want to stop that trend from happening with the next generation. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately that is the key, is to, like, after 15 years, You know what I'm saying? Like you have a mentality of like, just like when they changed from the feminist thing, you know what I'm saying? So now 15 years later, we see the whole aspect of everything change from dating to marriage and all of this stuff. Like from the time when the children are born and the law is changed to the time that they're adults. You understand? And that's how you affect your generation if you want real freedom, real change, you know. And that's the thing, some of the older people, some of the people in my generation, all of that are selfish and want to see it when they alive or the hell with it. And a lot of people was like, yo, I'm out for me and for mine. I got to get mine. You know what I'm saying? And now it's supposed to be whatever. And now millennials got to come save y'all Gen Xers. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that something?
Black man.
Wow. Oh my God.
Okay. Let me run this over. So say still, because.
Have I told you the first time I met Sage?
No, tell me.
The first time I met Sage was at a ESPYs party, and she asked you
if she could touch your hair.
No, sadly, that did not. That was her experience, not mine. Would you like to reference that, y'all? That's a whole other story.
Look it up, guys.
Anyways, she comes running over to me and she grabs me and she's like, "Oh my God, I love you. And I love you because you said, you know what? I don't care what you have to say. I'm going to choose a non-black man."
Wow. Oh my God. Oh shit. Oh my God. Yo.
And you didn't care what America thought. You didn't care. You said, I'm going to pick him. And you didn't feel forced to choose somebody who was black. And I was sitting there like halfway. I liked, this has been 4 years ago. Halfway, I'm like, I like Sage. Like she's a woman who is of color and who is, had a long career in the media, and I'm aspiring to this. But then I'm listening to you, and the first thing you say to me is how thrilled you are that I didn't choose black. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, who is this woman? Mm-hmm. And then since then I've started to learn more about how problematic she can be. So if you don't know who Sage Still is, just let my story speak for itself. This is a woman who is.
All right, so and this is the
Tell me this, as I watch the Colin Kaepernicks and some of the other, I don't know why their names aren't coming to my head, but the mixed race athletes and
Dak
well, take Dak off the table because he hasn't fallen into this. But I look at a Colin Kaepernick and some others, and I say it on the show all the time, and I say this, and again, I've told you my background and all that, so hopefully I have the license to say this. I'll say it regardless. I use the term African Americans. African Americans, like Colin Kaepernick, seem like they spend all of their life trying to prove their blackness. Has that trapped your kids in any way?
No. Again, it's different because there's not much of a question with them unless they knew other kids knew who their mom.
Tell me this, especially
the guys in sports, the sports fans, quite often you wouldn't see them and think that they're mixed with anything. You wouldn't.
I know, and I see people like that though that go out of their way. I'm black, and let me show you how black I am.
And the one drop rule and all that.
Yeah. I know every Jay-Z lyric. I'm black.
Mm-hmm. And the dress, the whatever.
Yes.
No, I mean, we've just been, super real and open with them. My kids just experienced a loving household, period. And again, the whole I don't see color thing, we all see it, but do we sit there and choose to look at the differences? That's a choice. And when my parents would come visit at Christmas, and then their dad's parents, when we were married, would come visit at Christmas, and they just felt the love from everybody. And it's really that simple.
This is
new.
Right, yeah, exactly. Her kid is white. But really, I showed her just to show this one, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with you, because I ain't never get to show it before. But this is her, I guess this is what these comments she was doing.
Hola! trees.
Yo, that's her. She got smacked in the face with the golf ball. Or you see the dude, the white dude ducked or whatever. And she got smacked right in the face with the golf ball.
The trees.
Now back on to the show. Now let me go ahead and get into this article that was posted by Outkick.com on May 20th, 2022. Embattled ESPN anchor Sage Steele, or Mammy Steele as I call her, was taken to a Tulsa hospital on Thursday after she was hit by a tee shot while watching the PGA Championship as a media spectator. On the third hole on Thursday, Jon Rahm's tee shot hooked wide left and hit Steele at a reportedly 181 miles per hour. Golf writer Jeff Shackelford describes watching the incident unfold in real time. I was standing behind the tee when Rahm hit a hard hook into the left trees. He immediately yelled "for left" and aggressively waved his arm pointing left. The impact must have been brutal. Rahm's tee shot ended up in the center of the fairway. Brutal indeed, Shackelford also relayed that Steele was on the ground holding her nose, mouth, or chin area with blood all over her hands. Rahm's shot went so far left that cameras couldn't follow it. So
anyway, one last time, y'all, my bad.
A video.
The trees.
All right, so and then and this white boy here, you know what I'm saying, he's talking about his blackness. Now, see, if he does something, he's gonna be like, oh, the first black person to, you know what I'm saying, like, hang another black person, you know what I'm saying, was this guy named Logic, you know what I'm saying? But it really be him. Like every time they be telling you, oh, the first black person to do this was you know what I'm saying, it really be fools like this.
Biracial community as well, because people look at me and they're like, oh, you fucking white boy, or you this, or you never experienced this or that, or, and I talk about this in other records too. Hell of a long way from equal is how they treat us. Black daddy, white mama wouldn't change a thing. Light-skinned motherfucker certified as a house nigga. Well, I'll be goddamn, go figure. But I'm proud to be me, I'm proud to be black, I'm proud to be this, whatever the case. And I've had white people treat me like shit and be like, fuck you, you nigger. They're like, oh yeah, I'm white. In my blood is the slave and the master. But he was born with the white privilege. I should be ashamed to be black. And some black people look ashamed when I rap, like my great granddaddy didn't take a whip to the back. In my bloodline and in my lineage.
Are you sure your granddaddy wasn't doing that?
Was the slave and the master. I'm a biracial person who looks white in a black man's rap game, not accepted by the black or the white. Black is beautiful, and so are you.
All right. Anyway, so I don't know, I don't want to talk about that one. But yo, like I said, man, now even when I'll be talking about this, like I said, now because she don't look black at all. She talking about she's Cambodian. And I know some of you get it like Filipinos and Cambodian, or they're black. They're just other Asians, you know what I'm saying? Like, they give nobody a pass. And if I was to say anybody was, I don't think we have no allies. I'm gonna be real with you. But the closest thing you could say to it would be a mulatto person, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, right, what I'm talking about, history. It's like when the dude said, I tried to get it on the part where he was like, we are palatable, so therefore we can bring acceptance. We can save you. It's like I have enough whiteness in me to be the white savior, but enough blackness to go to the cookout. You know what I'm saying? And to bring this mentality. But anyway.
You're Cambodian acting black? How the fuck do you act like a shade or a color? Sorry, let me just channel my inner Cambodian, okay? So, the papaya salad, the English, they call it papaya salad, but Khmer, we call it the bok lahong.
You know what confuses me about people? It's how they somehow manage to never understand blackness, but they completely get whiteness and its boundaries, right? And let me explain what I mean by that. If somebody had accused this woman of acting white instead of black, she would not have responded talking about how do you act a shade or a color. No, she would have responded with understanding. She would have known exactly what that person was saying. She would have said, how am I whitewashed? How am I acting white? Whatever, right? But when somebody says she's acting black, suddenly there's confusion. How do I act the shade? How do I act the color? And y'all, it doesn't just stop here. I get comments like this under my YouTube all the time. And we gonna go ahead and get right into this. This person, it's funny because all of this simply boils down to the fact that you all have a respect for whiteness that you don't have for blackness. That's really what all of this boils down to. Like, there's all these different offshoots and manifestations of how this.
See, that's why we always got to bring it back. When I talk about a black person, like if I'm talking about something, right, and I'm talking about something that, you know, the first thing people is going to bring it back to is, but what about what about that black person? What has that black person done? You know, that's the first thing everybody goes back to. Is like, it's always a way to blame the black, and that's the thing that I don't do. That's why I don't come on here argue or try to diss other. I'm not going to participate in the minstrel show, because to me, when we sit here coming on here dissing black people all the time, that just looks like the minstrel show. I'm just trying to balance it out and talk about other people. You know what I'm saying? But people get mad when I do that. Well, what about black on black crime? And you think you ain't talking like a damn clone. Now, luckily, I know that I'm not as hard on the clones as other people. Unfortunately, y'all don't know that y'all not as hard on the clones as I am. You know what I'm saying? Y'all love them. You know, like it's somebody that you love. That's why y'all always running distractions and all of this other stuff, because that's what it comes down to. We don't really value blackness now, do we? You know what I'm saying? That's why we can accept every damn body and make excuses for every damn body. But as soon as a black person does something, I'm cut. No, nope. That is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's why I am so hard on everybody else, you know? And even in this situation, right, with the black person, that's why I go out the way to explain and understand where that mentality comes from. That's the thing. Y'all just look at the mentality and blame it without like paying attention to your own contributions to it. Like I pay attention to my contributions to it, and I try to correct that. You know what I'm saying? But y'all gonna sit here and act like y'all don't have a problem with blackness yourselves, even if it's manifesting in the slightest ways. And I get why. That's what I'm trying to say. But we want to be so proud to act like something ain't happened to us. We can't admit what ain't happened to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the damn first step. You know what I'm saying? Because you try to be like, well, I'm not a victim. I'm not this. I'm not. If somebody break into your car or steal your car, it doesn't mean you're helpless. You're a victim of a freaking crime. You know what I'm saying? If somebody perpetuates a damn crime on you, it's not weak of you to make it, because that's the first step, is to admit it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to deflect or go to something else. You know what I'm saying? And it's really because we have a problem with damn blackness. You know what I'm saying? So we feel like it's okay that we can invite mixed people in. You know what I'm saying? Whether they're half Filipino or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I don't want. Like I said, I got people in my family. I don't have a bias. I don't have no white girl. I'm not dating no white girl. So my kids, and even if I was, they would be mulatto and I would know it. That's what I'm trying to say. But y'all try to have it both ways. You know what I'm saying? Try to have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. And that's what we got lost at. And I'm not blaming us for that. That's where we wanted. That's where we go wrong at. We want to blame ourselves. It's not our damn fault. None of this is our fault. What's our responsibility is to stop making the same damn mistakes, right? But if we can't even criticize the freaking mistakes that we making, or we don't want to talk about the mistakes that we making over and over and over and over and over again, but we want to complain about the situation that we're in over and over again, what is the freaking point? You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, I think that y'all probably think the only way to solve it is to get rid of your blackness. When no, the only way to solve it is one way only.
Like, there's all these different offshoots and manifestations of how this looks and how this unfolds, but it all comes back to the root cause of the issue. You all respect whiteness in a way that you don't respect blackness. Let's get back to this woman. again, if somebody accused her of acting white, she wouldn't have even responded with this goofy shit. She wouldn't even be like, oh, how do you act the color? How do you act the shade? Absolutely not, because she understands exactly what it means to be white, and she respects that boundary that white people put down, right? But when somebody says, oh, you're trying to act black or whatever, suddenly the boundary doesn't exist. How do you act the color, my skiddly? What, my dog diggity? How do you act the shade? Like, my thing is this. I would respect y'all much more if y'all would just acknowledge exactly what it is y'all are doing. Like, say you are attempting to colonize blackness and move the fuck on. Like just say that.
Well, anyway, and see what the assistant is trying to say, you know, and other parts of this video is like a lot of time, like, y'all don't think that this anti-blackness to always come up with something negative or say something negative or argue with other black people, but it really is, right? But I understand that it's a part of our sickness. I'm sick too, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like to troll the trolls all the time, and I probably should stop doing that, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's other people. You know, that's why I try to never do that with other black people or get into it with other black people, you know. But it's this thing where we don't respect blackness whatsoever. So we always find an excuse not to stand up for somebody, not to do something, to find a division within our community, whether it be nationality, age, gender, you know what I'm saying, or damn capitalist or whatever the hell you think it is, you know what I'm saying? Because none of that stuff, like, you know, we don't understand that it's only one thing that we could do is understand that we are black people. We not no damn individuals, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could go offer here. I could probably make more money off playing a video game on YouTube than coming on here talking about this. You know what I'm saying? If I want to go live an average regular life, but then when something happened to me, I'm gonna come on here crying to y'all like, oh, please help me. I didn't know this existed until it happened to me, and I can't do nothing about it because I thought I had power. What the hell is your goal? Like, at the end of the day, what the hell is your goal? You know what I'm saying? And is you passing it down from generation to generation, or is each generation getting lost, not understanding who their damn enemy is? You know what I'm saying? Thinking is I to sleep with the freaking enemy. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing what damn blackness is. A white black person, like, yo, no, if you have a drop of anything other than black, how about that? You know what I'm saying? How about from now on, if you start making anything other than black, you're not black? How about that? You can make your own rules, you know that, right? Well, anyway, but we don't want to address the real problems that we got deep down, because it's easier to argue with each other than to address the self-hatred that we got. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I wanted to show this, the dude telling the story of Kid Rock in front of
Rock
his
news?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Come on, we want to know.
I want to know what type of guy he was. I want to know what type of guy he was in the early stages.
I'll tell you.
Before he became this rebel flag.
Right, who taught you to hate yourself?
Fuck everybody but the pure white nation.
Jay, I'm out there sitting in his apartment, right? And he has a black girlfriend, right? And they have a baby. And me and Joey are sitting there, and he's telling us, because he's the veteran, you know what I'm saying? We're just coming out. He's doing all this shit with Jive, you know what I mean? And this is after, just after all that, you know? And he's like, don't trust anybody black in this business. Wow. I'm going to tell you this right now. And his woman with the baby is just sitting there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing. And that I'll never forget. You know what I'm saying?
Because we always sit there like it's nothing when somebody else say something. We always sit there like it's nothing. Then we'll complain about the other black people, you know. And that's a whole. We always sit there and don't do a damn thing. How do I know? Because nothing happened, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that young girl who took off a piece of that girl who was trying to bully her skull, she should not be in jail, bro. And if we down, like, yo, I'm dead serious. If, like, yo, it's my email in the thing. Or if we want to go out there and make sure she get out of jail, like, we can go. That's the only way. You know what I'm saying? Like, And if you down with that, then you can literally hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we'll talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Like, until that is not happening, I don't want to hear nothing nobody is saying, because none of y'all got no damn power. Stop. Yo, shut the hell up with whoever you may know who got something. If they got a farm or water, well, show us, damn it. You know what I'm saying? Because we thirsty and hungry. You know what I'm saying? If you freaking end of it, show us how to get that power you got. How you dispose of your own feces, or do you pay taxes like everybody else, right? And hell, if you're free, you can say I don't pay it and be proud of it, because there ain't no consequences that can come to you, right? Because what you gonna do? I know they take it out of my damn check, and that pisses me off to the point of like, that should be enough for us to like be like, yo, enough is enough. They taking my tax. It's like we paying tribute to these fools. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me, and we don't get it. And we like, oh, well, why is it all these? Because if I was to say some FBA, then it would be different, all right? Because if I was to bring up another division, then that division is okay. If I was to say why so many FBAs are doing, but no, it's black people everywhere that's cloned the hell out, right? And we're gonna act like we don't know why, right? And then we try to drown our damn blackness out because we're so cloned out, right? That's why they sitting there talking about we American. How are we American when you sitting there saying I can't get a hate crime bill passed, I can't get reparations? That shows you, right? That there's only one way that these fools is gonna pay. Yeah, and they are going to pay, right? But we got to go against each other in that aspect, right? But that's why I talk about even in this, because that's something that, you know, it's deep down in there, you know what I'm saying? There's going to be an excuse somewhere because it's somebody that you love, because so many of us is in love. But I don't even care that, like, it's in my family, you know what I'm saying? And it's no, like I said at the beginning, it's not about mulatto people in general, you know what I'm saying? It's about that not love for ourselves. That's why we always got to fight and argue about everything. Even when we talk about putting our issues on the table, we can't do that, you know what I'm saying? Because we got to fight and argue with each other, you know what I'm saying? So what is the only other way to escape it? Well, I'll just drown my damn blackness out. Then I could be accepted, and maybe it'll be over. It'll never be over until we say it's over, you know what I'm saying? Until we stop having these freaking egos and being like, and, you know, this includes me, you know, having these egos.
Me and Joy are just like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? And he's saying all that, and we're just like, uh-huh. And
anyway, anyway. Oh yeah, this is also because they become groups after a while, right? I remember what brother was like, yo, well, why don't a lot of people become like their own group, you know? Well, yeah, they become Mexicans and freaking Arabs and, you know what I'm saying, East Indians, right? For those of you who asked that question, right? They become these things where they practice that anti-black culture, but we so friendly to everybody but ourselves. Do you understand that? But ourselves. It's just crazy, you know what I'm saying? We find every damn excuse, every freaking reason in the world.
Yo, what's he got going on here? What's this?
Huh?
What's all this trash here?
Oh, that's my box.
You can't go somewhere more productive, like under a bridge or something?
No.
No? You want to go right here in the public?
Yes.
Why?
I don't have.
It ruins the streets. We pay taxes for this place to look clean, and you're ruining it, man.
No, I'm going to keep it clean.
Now, mind you, I had a whole thing ready of like straight negative stuff, and I probably should have showed it, because then I'm gonna ask us, what are we gonna do about it? And I'm gonna ask us, what are we gonna do about it? And if it ain't, like, go handle that right now. And like I said, if you going, I'm with you, you know what I'm saying? And if you come with me, I'll go first, you know what I'm saying? How about that, you know? But that's why I try to talk to you about martyr and suicide mission. This is a suicide mission. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't have nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? What do I got to lose? You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's just a suicide mission. It ain't gonna change nothing unless I take everybody out with me. You know what I'm saying? And what good would that do, right? But I get it that people have families and stuff they gotta look out for. But there is no way you ever gonna do it unless you willing to sacrifice a generation of our children. We sacrifice a generation to try to get this integration stuff, right? So it ain't no excuse. And it don't mean throwing them into a freaking volcano. It means preparing them to have their own sustainability, even if they have to live off of whatever and build themselves up. But we ain't willing to do that because it's easier just to try to assimilate into something else, but it'll never freaking work. That's why it's been freaking 500 years, right? It wouldn't have been no freaking 500 years if we was as independent and gangster as we think we is. If our youth was that so gangster, then why are they running off the block when the police run up? You know what I'm saying? Why are they running away from the police? They're not. And mind you, I got older cousins who, you know what I'm saying, threw people off the roof. And I got younger cousins who skip school and smoke a blunt, you know what I'm saying? And they might talk disrespectful to older people, which is not cool. But they ain't the gangsters that they was back in the day. And that's another thing that you're taking away from yourself. Because in one generation, you was gangster, but a lot of people, because we go ignored all the crime, you know, or the black people selling drugs back then. It just wasn't the same as the crack epidemic. But you had the black people doing their thing back then, but they was willing to ride to protect their communities, right? The young people ain't half as tough as back then, bro. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, the older people would tell the cops, get the hell up out of here. And I think that the younger people, or especially like 16 and up, you know, or about the 16 to 20, they're understanding who they are more because they have more access to information. You could talk to them about more things and they know more things than they would have known back then. So when you see fools like this, you be like, yo, we already know what time it is. But there's a reason that's not happening now, isn't it?
It doesn't look clean. This cardboard box is useless. That suitcase I can understand, but this cardboard box is useless. Why are you homeless?
I'm gonna get in there.
Why are you homeless?
Huh?
Why are you homeless?
Oh, because I don't have a place to stay right now.
Why are you homeless? Because I don't got a freaking house full.
Okay, so what were you doing in your 20s?
Huh?
What were you doing in your 20s?
Minding my business. You talking about what are you doing in your 20s? Anyway, let me get off this. Now, I'm not going to even play this recordings because this is another thing, because it could go into that older generation thing too, because some people are stuck on the civil rights age, but these ain't even older people. I think these is Gen Xers, by the way, too, but they got a whole thing. And this Angela Rye, you don't know her. She is I think one of her parents is like black and one of her parents is mixed, you know, or something like that. But this, I'm gonna skip this one, all right? Because she was on here crying about how they don't listen to her about the damn Democrats, you know what I'm saying? And anyway, I'm gonna skip it, all right? So let's go this so we can get up off of here, right? So these are the precious white girls that y'all love so much, you know. I want you to see this.
The dirt on your skin if you do not use washcloth. You know what? Let's get into this.
Do you use a washcloth?
No, me either.
I think disgusting.
Am I scrubbing my body with a washcloth?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I know. I think we're.
That is like a UTI waiting to happen.
I think we're in the minority. I really do. No, I think we are.
People use washcloths?
I think so.
Like for their body?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, what are you washing your butt with?
My hands.
My hands.
I mean, like, what?
I would never.
I would never. Would never.
By the way, these are the fools that try to call you dirty because everything, all of that stuff is projection, and we like. I know you don't like the words like internalized it, you know what I'm saying? But that's just words for you turned into clone. They made you clones, you know what I'm saying? And you'll probably be that, you know? And you'll do everything and anything other than address the fact, you know what I'm saying? Because you may have to address that little white girl that your cousin brought, or your son, or your, you know what I'm saying? Hell, your mom, right? Did with your white dad, right? I don't even know if you was brought up in the with a washcloth in the house. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the black side of it, and you got to kick in at some point, right? So they probably do have washcloths, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know.
No, I think we are. People use washcloths. I think washcloth. No, me either. I think disgusting. Am I scrubbing my body with a washcloth? Yeah, absolutely not. I know. I think we're. That is like a UTI waiting to happen. I think we're in the minority. I really do. No, I think we are. People use washcloths. I think so. Like for their body. Yeah. What do you mean? Like, what are you washing your butt with? My hair. I mean, like, what? I would never. I would never. I'm crying. Would never do that. No. I'd burn the wash.
They'd burn the washcloth. She said she'll wash it with her butt. No, it's not. What up, RBG? Is probably listening the whole time. Never shake any of their hands. I know y'all make excuses for them and all, you know what I'm saying? Never shake any of their hands. Right? See, and this was a new one, right? I thought it was like this old one here. But no, this was the old one.
I made the conscious decision to stop washing my hands. I think when I was in college. Was it college for you? I don't know. That's when I remember it, because one of my good friends from college also doesn't wash her hands, and it was like how we had that bonding experience. One day I was like, I'm just not gonna wash them. And she was like, I'm not either. I don't wash my hands.
I don't really trust people that wash their hands because, well, one, I don't think it does anything to actually wash. It doesn't.
And washing your hand doesn't actually do anything.
Doesn't do anything to actually wash them.
I do wash if I go number 2.
Using soap has no. What is this thing, soap? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it does anything to actually wash. It doesn't do anything to actually wash them.
I do wash if I go number 2.
They didn't used to wash them back in like way back in the day when they didn't have, and you would go to the bathroom out in the outhouse. Nobody washed their hands then, and there was less diseases.
I sometimes, like, when my roommates home, I'll have to like turn the water on because I'm like, I don't want them to think I'm like disgusting.
I'll like text. I'll like turn the water on and like take a text break and be like,
I'm like, When you're at work and someone that you know goes into the stall, you're like, well, I guess I'll fake washing my hands now.
We're always it's like little white girls laughing their hearts out. That's why we haven't laughed yet, because like we're like, what? You know, it's little white girls laughing their hearts out, like, oh yeah, I do the same thing. I don't wash my hands either. I just act like I'm on the. It's like millions of little white girls everywhere doing that. Well, y'all princesses, I guess. You know what I'm saying? It's okay for them to go kick at your schools. So you know what I'm saying? I guess that's fine too.
Work and someone that you know goes into the stall, you're like, well, I guess I'll fake washing my hands now.
We're always in the bathroom with Kate, and I'm always like,
we also don't shower.
We also don't shower, as he cut her off when she said that. But you know, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? We can continue to give them scholarship. Hell, they can call themselves black because all they have to do is identify as black, right? They just have to be seen as black, right? And they can come to the HBCUs and play kicker for us, you know what I'm saying? And there's gonna be brothers out there defending this nonsense. That's for sure. I don't know what to tell y'all. Yeah, they are. They probably are. But it's very true though. All I'm gonna say is I don't be shaking no white girl's hand. I don't touch like white people at all, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't suggest that you do either, you know what I'm saying? I barely talk to them, and that's like real, you know what I'm saying? Like people like, oh, yo, you just quiet and antisocial and stuff like that. But no, I like really don't talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just be out, especially out here. They be everywhere, like riding bikes in the middle of the streets, like irritating. It's like, and then like I be with my dog, and they be like, "Oh my god, dude! Like, what's your dog? Like, don't touch my freaking dog!" Like, and I just be like, "Yo, come on, man, we got to get out of here. It's just too many of them, you know." That's just me. Like, I'd be like, "Yo, don't touch my dog." You know what I'm saying? Now I gotta give my dog a bath, you know. And I'd be like, yeah. I don't talk to them fools. But because if I talk to them, it'll be something else. I don't know. I was like, yo, like, don't touch me, man. Don't touch my dog, bro. But anyway, this is what happened. This is footage from like the parents of one of these, I guess, Sage Still parents, you know what I'm saying? While they was in a casino. And shouts out to my brother Black Lady.
Fight, let Black Lady get on her ass. So boom, you see a nigga try to, but hey, real nigga too, he's solid. But this how I know they real love. Just together. This how I know it's real. Them niggas aligned. Look. Bow together. Bow as one.
I say it's still daddy right there.
Nah, for real. So boom, white lady instigate a fight, let Black Lady get on her ass. So boom, you see a nigga try to, but hey, real nigga too, he's solid. But this how I know they real love. Just together.
Oh man, if y'all want, I was about to get off here. If y'all want to come on here and say something, let me know. I'm about to get off here though. But if you want to come on here and say something, I'll put the link in the chat. It's all good. And I would suggest, my brother Bakari, if you still listening, come on the joint, my brother. You already know it's all love and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of, and especially probably the one with Casidra, talking about that, But anyway.
This how I know it's real. Them niggas aligned. Look. Bow together. Bow as one. Nah, for real.
Black men and black women unity, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the ultimate goal. And I think it's healthy to hash out some of our issues that we may have, you know what I'm saying? But it's never the same smoke for each other. And that's what I would like for us to practice. It's never the same smoke for us as we got for everybody else. We got smoke for everybody else. It's not the same smoke. We may argue, we may disagree, but it's not a war. Like the brother was like a war between the generations. It ain't no damn war. We may have disagreements, you know what I'm saying? We may not see eye to eye, but it ain't no freaking war. You know what I'm saying? We have to understand what the war is, but that's why it's important for older brothers not to judge the younger brothers. If you are an elder brother, you know what I'm saying? It's important not to judge the younger brother for doing something that you may not agree with. You show me how to do it then, you know what I'm saying? Or, yeah, you know what I'm saying? All of the advice or whatever. But if I don't do it the way that you like it, or I don't agree with everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, as an older brother, it's irresponsible for you to just be like, oh, I'm gonna wash my hands of this, you know? Or if you be like, oh, well, the younger people is out of control. Now, I understand, like, you want to keep your loved ones protected and all of that stuff. That's a whole nother conversation, you know? But we gotta think about it before we start judging and blaming each other, or saying this is your fault, or having only our energy aimed at one particular direction, because we wonder why it always happens to come back to black people, and then people have a problem with me because I only show other people. That's why I only show other people, because that's all y'all could talk about is y'all beef with y'all have with each other, right? But then we wonder why the younger generation is making the same mistakes over and over. Yeah, you're perplexed and wonder how we're still alive and surviving as a species, right? Or maybe we could do more than survive if you give them the game when they're children and not try to scold them when they're young adults. you know what I'm saying, and not respect them as adults or respect their opinions or their criticisms or their judgments. Right? It's a two-way freaking street. You know what I'm saying? That's why you try to escape it, because it's what else is you gonna do? Right? But try to just drown it out, you know what I'm saying? But you can't run from it. I know that is a tough thing to freaking hear, you know what I'm saying? But that's what we need, you know what I'm saying? Working together again. When the older generation led the younger generation, and the knuckleheads, that's what they called them then, knuckleheads, and not N-words, you know what I'm saying? They called them knuckleheads, and they'd be like, yo, you take that over there to the Italian community, you want to do that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But you became cowards and dropped the ball. You know what I'm saying? Now we got to pick it up. Right? Because it become a lot of judgment from certain generations. Then you wonder why so many freaking coons or clones out here walking around today. And it makes no sense, and it's pissing me off. It pisses me off. But you was just as responsible as the clone. Not calling you the clone, but you just as responsible. Just judgmental asses. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I ain't do it the way that you like, so I'm gonna wash my hands of it. That's not very elderly of you, or older brother of you, big brother of you. Anyway, this is what you made me, man. They call us the crackheads, but they call us the crack babies, but guess who was the crackheads? You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Shouts out to Blanca in the building. She sent me this. I ain't get to enjoy it as much as I did the last time, so we can go out with it.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
What the hell?
He won't shake his hand.
See, the younger generation has more courage than I can't say whatever. I don't know the name of the generation before baby boomers. You know what I'm saying? But the courage that generation had, when the baby boomers and the Gen X, they lost sight, you know what I'm saying? And now millennials is picking up the toy. We got y'all, though. It's okay, you know what I'm saying? We're going to make sure y'all retire in a nice, comfortable, sweet, you can kick your legs up, you know what I'm saying, and relax. We're going to pick that ball up that, you know what I'm saying, the Gen X males dropped and the boomer males dropped, where they became, what's this word? The word simp that y'all like to use. We're gonna pick the ball up and restore, you know what I'm saying, order to the universe. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry, we got y'all. We love y'all though.
He won't shake his hand. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Shouts out to the young brother, man. We got this.
Oh my
man.
god! Oh my god! Oh my god! He's 1 against 7.
And whooping.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Now I will say though, it would be a millennial out there. It would be the only Negro out there though. But he got the courage to drop all of them though. You know what I'm saying? The Gen X men would be like, "Oh, excuse me, sir. I'm sorry, sir." The millennial is no man is out there. I would say that, but at least he dropped them all. Is that millennials cry baby? Is that F around to find out? See, y'all try to call us crybabies, but the hard part that y'all have with criticizing us is who raised us to be this way. Anything that you say negative towards us reflects on your parenting, so that's the problem that y'all have. Don't worry, we're gonna save the Gen X generation. You know what I'm saying? There was that generation of nah, that wasn't them. Y'all was the children of the Evans Pettis Bridge people. Y'all was the we might have been the crack babies, but y'all was the crackheads.
God.
All right, shouts out to this brother. One more time. I'm sorry. Shouts out to
Shake his
Blanca.
hand.
Shouts out to Blanca for sending me this song. One more time, uninterrupted. I'm sorry.
Shake his hand. Oh my God! 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 He's 1 against 7. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yeah, shouts out to this young brother, man. He's a Gen Z, not a millennial. Yeah, he's a Gen Z, you know, and they about that, more so about that life. I ain't saying all of them, but more so about that life. But yeah, we show, you know, we picked up the ball. You know what I'm saying? We showed them what was up, you know. The baby boomers was crackheads. I can see that. And I would say this though, you know, and my brother MD2 said it, you know, and it really wasn't them; it was the generation, their parents. And that's who my brother MD2 said is it was their parents, probably the baby boomer parents who failed them. So, you know, it probably goes back for a long time. So, just breaking the curses, you know what I'm saying? But I would say this: Gen Z is closer to millennial, just like Gen X is closer to baby boomers. You know what I'm saying? Y'all a little close to that civil rights generation, Blanca. I'm just joking. I'm just playing with y'all. I'm just joking. I know Bakari got mad because I say he dropped the ball. That's why he kept going off in the chat. Bakari knows all love. You know what I'm saying? He can come on if he want to with that conversation. He probably gonna run though, because he already know what's up. You know what I'm saying? He know he dropped the ball. It's just hard to accept it. You know what I'm saying? Hearing it. Because, and somebody said this too, like when the next generation, they're going to come up and say it was the millennials' fault. They would be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I understand. You know, we right, but they would be wrong. So anyway, we'll see. I see if Cassandra want to talk about this. It was said it was y'all parents' age group. Yeah. I don't know what they're called, but yeah, I understand that. You know, we'll see. Oh damn, my good brother MD2 in the building. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? He was definitely right about that. You know. So we'll see. We'll have this conversation. I'm gonna see if Cassandra want to have this conversation or not. If not, we'll have this conversation. Bakari gonna run because he know he dropped the ball. He know it was him. I'm blaming. See, I said baby boomers. That was my fault. That's why Bakari like I ain't that old because he's a Gen Xer too. See, that's why I messed up. It's Gen X fault. It's the Gen X males like Bakari's fault. That's why he was mad. I'm just joking. But yo, shouts out to my good brother MG2. You know what I'm saying? Who always be spitting knowledge as always. Shouts out to Blanca in the building. Shouts out to RBG in the building. Shouts out to Raw in the building. My brother Bakari in the building. Shouts out to Erica who be out there listening. Shouts out to Matron. Everybody else who be out there. I appreciate y'all for listening. And let me see. What should I do? Okay, I'm gonna let this be the last words, y'all. Damn, what is going on?
I have another job for you, Willie.
What's that?
We need money. So I have a bank job case. The only thing about it is I can't have the job connected with the Cobras.
How are you gonna do that?
We use Red Beans, Benny Rooster, Paul Monte, JT, Johnny, and Tom. And you lead the team.
All the yellow niggas, right? Look, man, I am tired of that. I am not passing. I am black. Do you hear me, man? Do you understand? I am black. I'm a nigga. You understand me? I was born black. I live black. And I'm gonna die probably because I'm black. Because some cracker that knows I'm black better than you, nigga, is probably gonna put a bullet in the back of my head.
I'm sorry. I gotta do this one too.
And when he faced Christophe, he said that if Christophe had been a stable boy and head waiter in the French Inn, also fought in the American Revolution, but that's another story. But when he faced Christophe, he said, if the French had killed you, I wouldn't have you to contend with. And Christophe's answer was classic. If your mother had the common decency to keep Frenchmen out of her bed, I wouldn't have you to contend with.
And that's if we had common sense, we wouldn't have to worry about none of this stuff. And that's why they're mad anyway. But as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we gonna keep falling for anything.